Okay, let's go. I do like the cars they've made for this game, and the fact that they've tried to base it on existing ones but keep them different. Oh, not this way. Sat nav lied to me, or I didn't read the sat nav. This way. Right, on the freeway now, or the dual carriageways we call them. Check for merging cars, and they seem to be good. Admittedly, I don't know the radio stations in GTA 5 as well. The ones which I do know are the San Andreas ones, so this is kind of fresh to me as well. Right, this way. That's the Vinewood Bowl. It's hard to believe how old this game actually is now, but it's still really good. I don't know when the next GTA is due to come. I've been out of the loop, honestly. I wasn't looking. I was looking the other way. I'm a good driver. How badly did that affect the car? It's fine. Nothing happened. Oh, there's a cow. Hello.
Time for commercial break.
Time for commercial break.
Anal cleansing dates back to the
Anal cleansing.
coffee enemas have been all the rage for a few years.
Right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. One thing which I didn't say is that on the first lesson, my instructor actually drove me to the place first. And he did offer if I wanted to drive back, but I was a bit nervous at the end of the lesson, so I'm going to do this British side, because it makes more sense to me. So we pulled up here, and there was a little bit of a pavement, or sidewalk as the US would call it. He said, look, like, this is what we're going to do, and we swapped seats, and that was a bit of a nervous moment for me. But it was a quite moderately straight road, which had a couple of bends on them, and I think you can see on the map, there's like slight bends. So this will work well, actually. But it didn't have any road markings, and it was in this sort of condition as well. It was a bit surprising. One of the things I learnt later is that it's useful to have, although there's a dink in the car, it's useful to have the lines to sort of see where you are in relation to the road, but I didn't have that, so when I was trying it, I couldn't actually tell where I was. So we first of all spoke about the cockpit drill. Yeah, he given me this book, which as I was doing lessons, he was like saying, look, can you just write how you think you did and what things you want to work on and all that stuff. It's just a list of things you do when you first get in the car and just like check it's fine, basically. The cockpit drill, and I'll go in first person mode for this. So you have to obviously make sure the doors are closed, make sure that your seat is properly adjusted. It's like underneath the seat. I can't actually look in this camera. There's a lever, obviously, and you pull it and then go as far back as you want. And you want your foot to be on the clutch in a comfortable position. So the idea is that you're just pivoting with the ankle and pressing down, you know, doing that. So do that, make sure you can reach it, but it's not too bolted by whatever. So you then got to do like your headrest. You've got to make sure that the top of your eyes and the ears are like in line with the thick part of the headrest. So adjust it so it fits there. Mirrors, make sure that your mirrors are aligned so you can see the side. Is that a real-time mirror? Yeah, so make sure you can see them, everything. And you can adjust them with bits on the side. Okay, you see it. You see just right in the middle there, there's like a thing. Put your seatbelt on, and then check your fuel. I don't know if you can see the fuel gauge in this game. Is that in the middle? I'm on a smaller screen, so I can't really see. So that's cockpit drill. Doors, seats, headrest, mirrors, seatbelts, and fuel. Oh, and make sure your gears are neutral as well. I forgot to say that. And make sure the handbrake's on. Then actual driving, he said, when you're doing this, try and make some reference points for yourself so you know where the car is, basically. And of course, it's difficult to show because I'm on a different side. So for me, I had a windscreen wiper and there was like a little box on it. There isn't really a box on this one. He said if you line that up to one side, actually, I'm gonna have to do this American mode, sorry. Because it's hard to explain with this. So this is like my starting position now. It says if you line up the middle of the windscreen wiper with the side of the road, which that roughly is down, then you can kind of see that you're in the middle of the lane. So I pulled off slowly. I actually didn't stall. I didn't stall the first time I did it, but because I was used to the bike, that was all good. So basically just doing that, and then I was going up a couple of gears. I was still quite slow. I mean, I was doing like 30 miles an hour, which, what, 50 kilometers an hour? Oh, what's that? Don't get hit, don't get hit, don't get hit. Good. there was none of these buildings around on my test. It was literally fields. So we went through up the gears, and we kind of went back and forth, doing this same boot. And then he was like, "Do you want to try going faster? Do you want to try a different gear? Do you want to try going higher in the gear?" And I was like, "If you want." And then he wanted me to actually go into a spot and reverse, and I was like, "Oh shit, reversing? I don't really want to be doing this." He says, "What we can do, I will do the gears and stuff, and you just steer." We got in a position, and very slowly I did something similar. Let's say you want to reverse in there. I knew that I had to pull forward slightly from the area, and then he says, "You need to make observations before you're doing it, and there's nothing coming. And then you can look this direction, and put the steering wheel full lock," which I can't really do in this game. I can do that. And then just using the clutch, put it in reverse, use the clutch slightly, and then you can sort of go in quite easily like this. But I mean, obviously I wasn't stopping starting, like, there's limitations to the game. And then he put it into first again, and he said just go. And there was annoyingly a bit of a bush on one side, so I couldn't see. So he said, in this situation, like, edge forward, go in and pull away, and I did it in one, surprisingly, and I was actually quite impressed with myself. So then we drove all the way back. There was like the first scary moment, I think on the third time I did this, there was like a moment where you go 40 miles an hour, and I remember I quickly did something like that. It was like, oh fuck, that was a bit surprising how sensitive the steering wheel is. So another thing, the accelerator pedal is sensitive, the steering is fucking sensitive as well. So just bear that in mind. And I mean, it was bothering me for the rest of the lesson because it actually did scare me. But he said that it's fine, it's just a process, you're learning the car, you're doing all that stuff, so that's fine. So yeah, that was essentially the first lesson. It was going back and forth, and then him challenging me to go fast. And at one point I got to like 50 miles an hour, and I was like, I'm doing 50! This is amazing, how am I doing this? I was like, yep, you're doing 50, and how does it feel? And it felt fine, honestly. That was most of the lesson, and then the last hour, oh yeah, one thing I kept forgetting to do was engage and disengage in the handbrake. He was trying to make me, every time I stop, use the handbrake, so I got used to using it, basically. Right, I'm going to try and turn around. Get back roughly in my same starting position, which was about here. So that's, yeah, the handbrake I kept forgetting, and you can actually set off with the handbrake on, which surprised me. And it only does the back wheels, I believe, on most cars. But yeah, you can set off. And the car which I had, if you set off with the handbrake on, it actually warns you about it. It's like this beeping. That's useful to know, so don't worry about that. So yeah, I also got used to the gear stick quite quickly, more quickly than I thought I would. So with the handbrake, I asked if it was necessary to use the handbrake on the test when you're stopping at junctions, and he said no, they don't really worry about that. So if you're concerned about using the handbrake and you're on like flat roads, you don't have to use it. I mean, you wouldn't have to use that on your normal driving, and that was one thing which bothered me. But it's fine. Don't worry about that. And yeah, when I'm explaining what I did, there's going to be times where I've forgotten something, and I'm reading my notes at the same time. When I was doing like this swerve motion, he actually quickly grabbed the wheel when I did that. So again, if you're worried about instructors like leaving you to your own devices, don't be. They're there to keep you safe, keep their car safe, and that they know what they're doing. Oh, what's that thing again? I'll just get to my reversing spot again, if I can remember where it was. Oh yeah, another thing, when I was first driving, I was like, this doesn't feel like I'm doing it. I don't feel like I'm driving. It was quite a surreal experience, honestly. And as I said, the car sort of controls you at that moment. No, I did a right of way there. Twat. So again, look around you. Oh, bollocks. Go. Another thing which GTA doesn't do is indicate. So obviously you've got to indicate. So full lock, and then slowly in reverse and the clutch, go back, and then straighten the wheel. Usually for full lock it's like 2 full rotations of the wheel, I've noticed. So turn it back so it's straight, look both ways, and then go. And then we went back. So after that, the last part of the lesson, he says, right, we can go over ancillary controls. So that'd be things like windscreen wipers, hazard lights, all that stuff. So if I find a nice place to stop, like here would probably be good. So full up. What happened there? Oh! Oh! Where's that police? No, don't, no. Oh shit. What? Why are you doing that, bastard? So ancillary controls. Oh, another thing with the steering is that you can see that Mike has his hands at the 10 to 2 position, which is what you should be doing. But you do see people, especially if you got like parents or that, they tend to get very relaxed and like have their hands half on the bottom end of the steering wheel, which you're not meant to do. But and then in terms of steering, I mean, he's doing it as if he's going at speed. But you use a push and pull method, so with one hand you're going up and down, the other hand you're sort of clasping and not clasping. I can't explain that, sorry. So obviously you have the horn, and you actually need quite a lot of force to use the horn. Like one thing I was wondering is that if you're cleaning the car, for example, on the inside, you accidentally press it, you think, oh shit, I'm going to put off the horn and wake everyone up or whatever. But no, you need a considerable amount of force to use that. Lights, I can't show you in here, I don't think. But you have a lever on the left of the steering. It's different for each car, so don't quote me on this, but on the left there's like a switch which you rotate at the end, and that turns on the dipped headlights, and then if you want the full headlights you bring the whole thing forward, and then on your dashboard you have a little blue light to show that they're on, and then again you can use that to turn it off. And then if you want to flash people, just to let a passing light, which I mean on the car I had, you push the lever forward and it kind of sprung back. And then the fog lights, similar sort of thing, but there's like a dial. Oddly enough, I can't really explain the fog lights because I haven't actually used them in actual driving yet, so I can't really tell you. But it's a similar sort of thing. Hazard warning lights, so you have a big red triangle, which I don't think this car has. Windscreen wipers, so they're usually on the right side, the right stalk near the steering wheel, and you sort of push it up slightly. For intermittent windscreen wipers, the higher they go, the higher you go forward. So then to use your window washers, you pull the whole stalk forward, and it does it. For the back windscreen wipers, on the same stalk, there's like a twisty thing. It's like it looks like a square with a windscreen wiper on it, basically. Press that, and it does the washing by itself, and then it sort of rinses everything off until it stops, and that's that. Then you have the dashboard. So one side, what is it on this? Right, so on the left there, where he's thumbing. That's a speedometer, but the middle is the fuel. It might be fuel and oil pressure, oil heat. At the far right, that's the rev meter, so that's in thousands of revs. So at the moment it's like idling at, what, 900 revs? But yeah, that covers the first lesson, honestly. And I mean, we did that in 3 hours, and I think I stalled once, but it was when I was stopping, so it didn't really count. And I got home, and I wrote my book, all the stuff. Oh look, it's nearly night time now. Oh, it's sunset. I should probably leave it here now for the lesson. I wasn't planning on doing one huge video, because it's one huge video. I'll continue with the second lesson, and it might be a bit quicker next time, because this was me getting used to the game. Finding a hatchback, all that stuff. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.